Hey guys, welcome back to Give Your Hair a Kiss. I'm Kiss, and this is part 2 of 3 of Salon Chair Facelift. If you're just joining us, in the last video, I took my salon chair apart. Oh yes, that good old trusty salon chair that I rescued from the trash of my first salon. In this video, we're gonna do some patterning. We're gonna get the new foam put on. We're gonna do some vinyl. I was a little in over my head, so bear with me on this one. It gets a little crazy. Let's jump right into this. Great, so I've got some tissue paper. I've got the wooden back piece of the salon chair, and I'm just gonna trace around it and create just kind of a loose pattern to work off of so I can cut my foam appropriately. Am I doing the best job of this? No, not really, not really. The curved like tiltiness of it was really throwing me off trying to even make a pattern. So I'm like, all right, this is fine. This is fine. How am I gonna make a pattern at the bottom? Am I gonna make a pattern at the bottom? Let's look at the foam. Yeah, cut that package open. Let that foam expand. Trusty scissors, opening a package, getting out the foam. Yeah, okay, I was trying to figure out how I wanted to put this on because I wanted to avoid that space again where the, where all that hair was gathering between the armrest and the seat. Really wanted to avoid that happening again. So, needed to figure out some placement, went back to the back of the chair. How am I gonna get this pattern to work appropriately? Let's do it diagonal. Maybe, I don't know, make your brain process. Yeah, gotta be diagonal. Otherwise, I was gonna be short foamed. But let's double check the pattern first. Make sure it's nice and even. This is why it's good to work with a tissue paper. It's translucent. And adjust as needed. Again, still working on my floor. Cut out the pattern. I went for the outermost lines of my pattern. I would say it was for like safety reasons, like, oh, I want to make sure I have enough room, but really I had already, like, as soon as I did it, I forgot what line was what. I should have just made a new pattern, to be honest. But I just kind of wanted to keep moving forward, you know? The sun was setting and I needed to get this glue to set and dry overnight. So, okay, double check it against the piece, figure out what needs to be cut off, make sure I got it sitting the right way. Check, check, double check. And then cut off what I don't need. Check again, cut off what I don't need. And check again, one more time. Cut off what I don't need. Perfect. Fit it onto the foam. Line it up nice so I'm getting the most out of my foam. And trace it around again. Is it the best little tracey job? No. I was already getting a little tired at this point after disassembling that chair. But once it's taken apart, it's like, all right, sense of urgency. Let's get it put back together. Ta-da! Traced out. Cut it out. Cut that sucker out. I'll make sure my cutting was nice and clean. Great. Get all that out of the way. fit it up again. And then where the arm pieces come in, needed to just trim that down a little bit too, so that the armrest would fit back on properly without being jammed up with foam. Cut that out. Cut it out. Clean it up. I was being a little detail oriented on this foam piece. Some would say neurotic. Okay, great. Fitted? Fitted? Are we fit? Yeah. And then grab my trusty Barge. Paint on a thick layer of bark. And of course, I wiped it off first to make sure I had all the little sanded down glue bits and sanded down wood bits off so that the glue would, you know, stick and not just create like a little gummy cement. Kind of go overboard with it. Paint on the bar. And place the foam. Make sure everything is lined up nicely so that I didn't have any gaps when it dried. Went back over the lip area. Now, bark takes a little bit to get tacky, so set it aside. Same thing for the backrest of the chair. Make sure she's good and lined up. Make sure everything's gonna fit properly. Slather it with bark. Oh, I also use this bark when I'm working with Foam. Again, it does take a while to dry. And even, 24 hours later, it has a bit of a aroma to it for chemically. So you definitely want to work with this in a ventilated area. Put your knees into it. Great. Okay. I love this vinyl. I fell in love with this vinyl. I found it on Amazon. I was originally looking for something like diner seat style, like a pink glitter, but I saw that and I fell in love with it and I had to have it. I will tag it below. So I'm gonna roughly, loosely measuring with the vinyl and kind of just, marking off more than what I need, just so I could work in smaller pieces than, this giant roll. Give myself a little more to work with. cut her down. And of course, while I'm doing this, I have the foam drying. I just weighted it down with some clamps. Weighted it down, pinned it down, I clamped it. Okay, nice piece to do the back with. Or no, to do the seat with. This is the section that I'm using for the backrest of the chair. Trying to cut nice clean lines in this vinyl. And at this point, still feeling pretty confident in this project. It's like, all right, how are we gonna line this up? And how are we gonna go about this? You can see like the wheels in my head just turning away. How the heck am I going to do this? And now, woulda, shoulda, coulda, should have made another pattern. Definitely should have made more patterns instead of just like, yeah, and this will work. Yeah, but I was so afraid to like start cutting down vinyl. So I figured, all right, let me get the back piece glued on. Oh, I guess I had taken the clamps off by this point. Slather the back with barge. So then, of course, all this was gonna get clamped again overnight so that I could get right back on it in the morning. It's pretty much like a shoe glue, like a rubber cement. Poke out the little holes, make sure they're not all full of glue so I don't have any trouble drilling back, putting the screws back in when I put the armrests on. Line her up. And get that vinyl nice and smooth across the back piece. Clamp it down. Of course, continuously checking to make sure it was smoothed out, stretched out. And then sit and have a cup of coffee because it's definitely going to need it to move forward with this project. So I'm just kind of fitting the piece just to see where everything was going to line up. And then started with some working staples, like a temporary staple so I could stretch the vinyl over the piece. And to solve the problem of the hair caking up in that armrest between like the padding of the seat and the armrest, I decided to end the padding a little earlier, a little sooner, like right before where the armrests connect, and instead lay the vinyl down flush below the armrest. So that what I've got is like a 1/2 inch section that I can just wipe clean and not have to worry about the gunk. There we go. Roll her over and clamp her down. Same thing, other side. Same thing, other side. Get it nice and flush, grab some more clamps, and clamp her down. Let it dry. But to make sure everything was gonna dry nice and taut, went back and underneath, place some more working staples. And you know, I kind of messed with how it was gonna gather, and there you go. All right, so everything is dry. This is the next, no it's not. So now I'm just trying to see how everything's gonna fit. Fold it over those end pieces, get some working staples in there, make sure the heads go all the way down. Again, this was kind of a pain in the butt because you've got this teetering effect happening. Go ahead and start stapling. Make sure the heads aren't sticking up. Don't want to cut myself. Don't want to catch myself on anything. But making sure that that vinyl is pulled nice and tight, nice and smooth. I like how the hammering shakes the whole camera while I'm working. That's gonna be great later when I'm driving little tacks into it. You'll see, you'll see. That one got a little funky, but you know what? It's okay. It's okay. It happens. Boop. Still at this point, feeling very confident. Like, oh man, I'm doing it, I'm doing it, I'm doing it. Okay, but what now with this like weird hinged piece? So I had to take out my working staples and kind of reassess my approach to the fitting pieces. And now at this point, I'm starting to understand why it was such a staple mess when I took it apart. Because it was nonsense in there with that fake zipper, non-functional zipper that is. And just this crazy array of staples. So found a little sympathy at this point. All right. So I went in and did the studs on top. So now that everything is dried and set into place, I went in and I'm gonna drive some upholstery tacks, which serve not only for decoration, but also to just kind of reinforce everything. And I just really love the look of it. I love that classic look of the upholstery tacks, those little round heads. It's just fun. It just looks great with that alligator vinyl. So pull it over and then kind of folded the lip of it under And I'm just using black duct tape to kind of work along as I went, because the whatchamacallit, the clamps were, you know, just pushing the vinyl in weird directions and creating, you know, gathering in the vinyl that would have caused, like, you know, you drive a nail and then you take the clamp out and now I've got this like extra loose material, and that wasn't gonna work for me. No. So just kind of used duct tape as I went, folding the lip as I went down the side of the chair. And with these upholstery tacks, you know, it's really a matter of just trying to line it up in the center of the ledge of that wooden base. And like the bottom side, like the whole circumference of the underside of that upholstery tack is a little sharp. So if you go too far with the hammering, it does grip the vinyl a little bit. So I had to be very mindful of, you know, getting the placement right, getting them driven in like with the right spacing. So I mean, like, all the spacing isn't perfect. Let's just call it what it is. Like, this was my first time doing this sort of task, this upholstery task. So they're not perfect, but you know what? They're beautiful, and I love them, and it's my chair. So just working my way down. So the whole like upholstery task took about hour and a half, 2 hours tops, I think, to do. Just sitting there mindlessly driving in tacks. Probably about an hour and a half. But once you get going on it, that stretching the vinyl, rolling over the lip, and driving the nails in, the vinyl starts moving with you, so it does become easier. It starts to just take on that shape as you're working with it. Yeah, and I just kept doing that. That's the pattern making and getting all the foam and all the new vinyl and everything stretched onto the back and the base of the chair. In the next video, part 3 of Salon Chair Facelift, we're gonna put everything back together and talk about how I did not know what I wanted to do with the chrome. So just kind of cleaned it up and put it back together. So stay tuned. If you like what you're seeing, give me a like, follow along, hit that subscribe button. Follow me on social media, Facebook and Instagram. Give your hair a kiss. And check out my products and exclusive offers at giveyourhairakiss.com. Until next time, guys, give your hair a kiss.